Go to motionready.com to add this to your video, and that, and that.
Good, excuse me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fifth episode of Tater Talks, where mental health, spirituality, and gaming all connect together in one inclusive vibe. I am your toast. I'm your host, Tater Toticus. Coming back to you for a wonderful topic I think I've got going today for you guys. Of course, we have you all know him. We have Aaron with us for our fifth episode. The man's been around for a couple of for a couple of episodes, and I kind of admire the vibe we got going. So we've been in the talks of possibly just bringing him aboard, Today we also have a wonderful special guest of mine. This dude is very chill. He's very awesome, and I enjoy the fact of how we get to play with him and just have really conversations in life when it comes to difficult times. Today I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Atlas. Mr. Atlas, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Tater. I'm happy
Okay.
to be here.
Yeah. So, what kind of day you've had so far?
Well, interestingly enough, um, today's been more of a mental relaxation day, and honestly, I took yesterday to do the same thing.
Understood. Understood. How's life been treating you?
Well, it's been a little bit mundane, a little bit. I mean, it has its amazing parts about it. Like, I love spending time with my wife, but I'm almost ready to hit the road too.
Yeah.
Um, I've been home from work for a while, and I love time at home. Um, but that too much of anything can lead to feeling mundane, if you will.
100%. 100%. We've talked about in our past episodes, we some of us love gaming so much, and it turns into you start to not realize it, but you really gaming can kind of take control of your life, and you start avoiding all the other issues on trying to accomplish getting back to somewhat normal. So I'm really happy for you, man. Aaron, how we doing, homie?
Oh, it's been a week.
It's been a week. Kind
It's
of
been a week.
what tell me.
Sleep. I've had little sleep all week. Staying up late, waking up early, and it's getting burnt out.
Okay. We were talking, not being able to sleep. Would you say that's more deal to like just fighting with your mind, or not getting comfortable, or what do you think's causing that?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard because I don't have my daughter's bed put up right now.
Right.
So she sleeps with me, and her little feet and my ribs, my back. Thing is, she has to be right up next to me constantly, and I go to roll over and get comfortable and squish a child.
It'd be like 5 in the morning, her ice cold feet touch your back, Ah!
She doesn't do that. She has to have her back right up against mine.
Okay.
Or she has to be like right up next to me.
Okay.
Which I get, it's a comfort thing for her.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to roll over on her.
Okay.
And shut my mind off can be hard.
Okay.
I feel that sometimes I don't want to move when I'm sleeping with my partner just because they're already comfortable, so I sacrifice my comfort for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The sacrifices that we make. Nah. So essentially though, what do you feel like what are we trying so far to get back better sleep?
Just staying up. But how about
Ha. So coming back, to go ahead and get started here, I decided that this week's topic, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to be diving into something that hits home for a lot of us. We all have experienced burnout every once in a while, whether it's in gaming, streaming, or just life in general. Burnout is real and it affects all of us in different ways. You know how it is. We push ourselves to the limit. We grind in game. We stream for hours, work hard all day, working 13-hour shifts, and eventually we just crash. Today, we're talking about how to recognize burnout and what causes it, and most importantly, how to recharge your inner battery. So while my people in the back in the chat, while we're talking here, boys, my first question is, how do you guys know when you're getting close to a burnout? What are your warning signs? For all my people that are new to the channel, I like to kind of get y'all's feedback as well. So if you guys want to comment, I've got you pulled up here, and you can answer along with me. So Atlas, we'll start with you, man. How do you know when you're getting close to a burnout, and what are your warning signs?
That's a really good question. I would say I know I'm getting close to my burnout when everything that I love to do that is a hobby or just an extracurricular, they all start getting boring and exhausting, and I'm just absolutely out of energy. Or I feel like I'm getting close to out of energy. So I'll use a game for example. Um, I currently probably am coming out of a burnout, I would say. Uh, I was grinding like crazy on Fallout. All my friends started getting me into it, and I was having fun. And then it got to a point where I was literally only getting on just because I wanted to socialize a little bit, but I wasn't actually playing the game. I would just sit there unless somebody said, "Help, help me," pick a fight that they need another player for or something. Um, but I wasn't playing it like I was really enjoying it. And it wasn't anybody's fault. It was just I was exhausted. I was exhausted with all the different games as a whole,
Okay.
and I didn't really have energy to get up and do anything. That includes house chores too. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah. What about you, Aaron?
Ooh, I feel like when I'm starting to get close to a burnout, whether it's working or socializing, I just feel myself like slowly mentally just shutting down,
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to do a whole lot, just kind of being on autopilot and just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And you can notice it during games. Like I'm playing COD, I'm getting burnt out on Call of Duty. It's I get burnt out of it and I'll stop playing for a week or two, then I'll go back and play a few matches and be fine.
Right.
But just to take a break from what you're doing, like whether it's work, you have enough PTO or time off, take a week vacation. You don't even have to go anywhere.
Yeah. Don't.
I'm
Stick.
saving it for later.
Save that.
But I mean, you always just I feel like I know like I'm gonna be burnt out by the end of the week of playing certain games. So I like to switch it up during the week.
Right. So I myself, whenever I experience when I could tell when I'm starting to get to my limit, is I'll start going quiet. Usually I'm a very talkative person. I could talk to you about anything and everything. But when I'm very, very quiet and I'm not interacting and I'm not, that's the first sign, is when you see me start to veer off just a little bit. Your second warning sign is going to be me no longer offering, you know. Typically I've got no problem working, busting out 13 hours and, because the overtime, it's good pay, it's all that other stuff. All of a sudden, I ain't there for that. I start speaking in legal terms. I'm here for my designated 8 hours. So what is burnout? All right, let's start by talking about what burnout actually is. Burnout isn't just feeling tired after a long day, as tiring as it is. It's that overwhelming sense of exhaustion, lack of motivation, and sometimes even hopelessness. It can happen in your personal life, at work, or even in gaming when you're pushing too hard for too long without a break. I can tell you, when my mind is just focused on nothing but work, I don't take PTO. I don't take, breathing exercises. It's all about, hey, we got 20 calls on hold. We need you to, be the perfect person every single day in and day out. And God forbid if you have a blemish, there has been times where, we've talked about on the episode before feeling valued and appreciated at work. And eventually when you don't feel valued and appreciated, it kills it. It kills you. You've worked hard for a promotion for like 2 years and then nothing comes of it. You excuse me, you deal with just so many issues of, well, I've tried bringing this up. Let's see. That's how stay-at-home moms feel. We get burnout so quick because our job is never ending. 100%. 100%.
Mhm.
You guys definitely, day in and day out, you guys wake up in the morning. You guys make sure the kids are dressed and ready for bed, or not ready for bed, ready for school. Are they wearing the right clothes? Did they put on the right sock? Do they look, normal? Are they going out dressed in Batman when it's not really a Batman suit day at school? And then you're cleaning the house. If you're not cleaning the house, you're making sure all the bills are paid. If all the bills ain't paid, then you're gonna be stressing about that. Finally, 3 p.m. comes around. The kids come home. You got to see what they did at school. Are they doing good at school? And then once you're done with school, you gotta wait for your partner to come home, and they've had a long day from work. They've had it rough too. And then finally you get to the end of the night and it's just like, is this ever going to end? Struggling to find motivation or even knowing you want to do something, but nothing catches your interest. Yeah. I play World of Warcraft day in, day out. I play all my video games day in, day out. If I start and I've got really fun video games. I got a whole crew that I like to play with. If I start to kind of take a step back and I'm just like, not really down for it. Yeah. Sorry, just a moment. So, like I said, it can happen in your personal life, at work, or even in gaming when you're pushing too hard for too long without a break. When was Atlas? When was the first time, or how long has it been since you could say that you have had a burnout, something of that essence?
I mean, I'm right at the tail end of recharging my batteries from a burnout. So I
Okay.
would say quite literally, about 2 days ago was the height of the burnout, and I would say as early as a week ago, I could probably say that I started feeling that burnout, and it just it slowly it corrodes away at your energy because there's so much going on. Another sign that I kind of realized that I didn't think about earlier is when you start to get sensory overload
Okay.
often and more frequently. I think that also plays a role into hitting your burnout. And sensory overload isn't always just noise. Sometimes it's everything. Like for example, when I'm sitting at the computer and I'm working and maybe my partner's walking around doing a bunch of different things right in my eyesight, I'm constantly being turning, wondering what is she doing? What's she doing? I'm getting too overloaded trying to do what I'm doing. And especially for moms, holy cow. Most people think, especially for guys, I'll give us this. When we get home, we get a break from our work. But then we jump right into the house. Where's the mom gonna go? The mom got nowhere to go unless you send her out for a night. So, uh, you know, it's a really big thing because ultimately, those who work at home and have kids, uh, you don't have an actual safe place from being burnt out or overloaded or any of that. You don't have your safe haven.
Yeah, no, I could agree. That's how it definitely appears. What about you, Mr. A. Ray Ron?
Oh, pretty sure I'm probably going through it right now. I
Interesting.
like like Tarkov. Like I love Tarkov. It's a game I will play. But today I didn't like I played for a little bit today just to get a quest done. But I found after I took a couple hour break and had played with some other people and just sat there and relaxed a little bit and sort of started to recharge my batteries. I went back to it and I found enjoyment again. I mean, sometimes a burnout doesn't take 2, 3 days to come out of. Sometimes you just need a little break from the activity, and like I did with Tarkov, and went right back into it and started enjoying it again.
Well, I feel like I'm okay. So don't come at me with a dagger, but I don't think that's exactly a burnout. When I'm talking is when was the last time you really just you hit essentially you hit the point you woke up that one morning and you were like, I just don't want to do anything.
Well, see, that's another thing is I wake up every morning and not really want to do anything
Oh, okay.
because of the sleep. I'm always exhausted.
Okay.
Like no matter how much sleep I can get, I'm always exhausted.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. My burnouts now. I don't like. Yeah, sometimes the games help. Sometimes the games make it worse.
Okay.
I haven't really started to recharge my batteries yet because I'm not too completely burnt out of everything.
But you're
Like
starting to
I'm
like see the
starting
signs.
to. Yep. Like that's why I like take breaks from stuff or just relax and go talk to people and then go back to the task I was doing just to help slow it down. But I say within probably the next week I'll probably be trying to start recharging my batteries and just I'll be social but not really wanting to play games just to help restart recharging it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Some other symptoms of burnout is, physical exhaustion, emotional fatigue, really just not giving a damn. uh Decreased performance, withdrawal from social activities, burnout in gaming, is streaming fatigue, competitive gaming pressure, constant content creation without downtime. In life itself, there's work life imbalance, overstimulation from technology, pressure to always be productive. These are all really big signs when it comes to burnout. You know, when it comes to the competitive gaming pressure, you're always like the esports people, and that top 1%, they probably go through it. Constant, like I said, constant content creation without downtime. I do focus a lot on the structure of how I do these episodes, and then the time that it takes to get everything formatted for me to post it up to the social media areas, YouTube videos, the clips, highlights, all that other stuff. It takes, let's see. Yeah. It's Rose hit it on the nail. It starts to feel tedious, like just to do it sucks everything out of you. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It literally just sucks the life out of you. You wake up and you just start feeling like, I really just don't want to do this. The next thing that we deal with is the always on mentality. We live in a world where it feels like we always need to be on, whether it's keeping up on social media, grinding in video games, or hustling at work. It's exhausting. I think a lot of us feel like we need to consistently be doing something, or we feel a essence of falling behind. But that always on mentality is one of the main causes of burnout. There's pressure from the grind, gaming streaks, streaming hours, competitive rankings, FOMO, fear of missing out. Feel like you're failing behind in life, work, or gaming if you're not constantly pushing. Social media and streaming culture, the expectation to always be online, always creating, always engaging. So my next question is, do you ever feel like you're stuck in an always on loop, especially with gaming or streaming? How did you manage that pressure? Aaron, I'm going to let you answer that first.
Oh. Break the cycle, break the loop for sure. I mean, every day can feel repetitive if you keep letting it feel repetitive. Sometimes you just got to break the cycle, do something different. I mean, that'd be the best way, is just break the cycle. If you have set times where you do this and this and this and this, switch it around, do something different, so it helps you not get so burnt out. Break the cycle, make it feel like it's a different task you got to do,
Mm.
and it will, I think it breaks the cycle, and you realize, like, oh, you do it every day, you're doing it on airplane mode, and you just keep doing it. Sometimes you just got to break the cycle, take yourself out of autopilot, and do something different.
Okay. What about you, Atlas?
That's a really good question. To answer your question, yeah, sometimes I do. I don't even recognize it sometimes. My partner tells me when I get a little too sucked in at times. And what we do is sometimes we will take a day away from it. We'll take our rather large social circle and make it a lot smaller for a short period of time. We'll only have people like family and friends that we really are really close to around, if we're even on our phones. Um, we
No,
kind of, at the very least, focus on the core things, the smaller things, as opposed to everything. You know what I mean?
100%.
Um, Especially with burnout, you deal with being burnt out from everything, too much of everything at once. And if you take some things out of that bowl and just focus on one or two things, it gets a whole lot easier to regain traction on your attention and your energy. Um, if you use an example like a generator, for example, if your body's that generator and you plug up too many things to it at once, that generator ain't gonna keep up with everything forever, is it? You unplug a few things and focus on the essential needs. Gets a little easier to keep up, and you might be able to refuel. Um, Social media can be extremely, extremely tiresome, whether it's from online bullying or a variety of just generally toxic things online, which online can be extremely toxic. I think you talked about that in one of your previous episodes. Um, to just going through TikTok a little too fast because TikTok can be ADHD inducing. You know,
Right? You got
uh,
you have the constant,
like yeah, the constant going through so much, just too much.
right?
That was an interesting thing somebody brought up to me, and I actually kind of started taking that in. It's kind of slowing my roll on certain things I know kind of
Right?
grinds my gears mentally. Games too, you know, everybody's racing to get the greatest gear, the most recent and greatest gear. Grinding out at that, doing that too much, it wears you out. And Destiny had a race for the best raid gear for the longest time.
Right? I wanted
But
to I wanted to kind of chime in a little bit here. Rose definitely brought up something. She said, as someone who has to keep a pretty repetitive routine, I can get burnt out so easily, and it don't even always affect just us because we're having those. Because having those comfort people, we can worry about it also taking a toll on them, which adds to the stress. 100%, 100%, because you get the feeling that you get the feeling like you don't want you are so concerned with not sharing how you feel because you don't want the people that you want comfort from to like feel bad about you, or you feel like you're being a nuisance, or you're just like you feel like essentially you feel like your feelings don't matter. um let's see, it's just like high school all over again. Yeah, 100%. I know for sure when I play World of Warcraft, if you don't have, so they have what's called a Raider IO. This is a score that bases off how high of a difficulty have you been able to accomplish within a timely fashion. The really good scores are anybody that has an IO of 2,000 or higher. Anybody that's less than 2,000 is not really considered a decent player, or they're working on it. And there's a lot of people who live and breathe by that statement of the Raider IO score. So when you're trying to get into groups and do the difficult content and really get the mounts and whatnot that are in the game, it becomes very difficult because you don't have that score, therefore you're not worthy.
yeah, can I chime in on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Destiny actually was a lot like that in some of the behaviors of people. You go on LFG and you'll
Do
be
you have
like,
Do you have
"We
Lord of
need this
Wolves?
kind of person."
Do you,
I did. That was one of my favorites actually for a long time. Or no, I'm thinking, the Iron Lords
yeah.
DLC. I haven't played Destiny 2 as much, but,
Oh no,
back
but
then,
I know what you're talking about. You
it
the gun Lord of Wolves. If you know, did you have Lord of Wolves? If you don't have Lord of Wolves, we can't take you.
Yep, yep. They were a lot like that with a lot of different raids. They set criterias to whether or not you could be on their team, whether you were good enough to be on the team. And that forced everybody to be so competitive, to grind at it so much, to keep up with whatever was latest and greatest, just to be a part of a little bit of fun, a game. And life is a lot of like that too with your jobs. Some people will take that so competitively they forget to balance their own life.
100%. Give me just a moment here. I have somebody who wishes to chime in on the subject. Yeah, give me just a brief moment here, and I can bring you in. Um, Let's see. King made the comment, says, for me, it's a thing of repeating the same mistake over and over again, and I can't break that loop. I don't know if this is off topic or not, but just putting it in there. 100%. No, dude, you're right on topic.
Yeah, I mean it can get extremely exhausting. They say absence makes the heart fonder,
Yeah.
and if you want to expand your horizon on that statement, it can apply to a lot of things. Ben said something about taking breaks from things at general, whether it's games, people, everything. And it allows you to recharge your batteries on everything around you if you don't do anything so much that you burn out on it.
Okay. Give me just a moment here.
Yeah. Like, it depends on like the mistakes. Like, are you learning from those mistakes every time you make them? Because if you're learning something new from every single mistake, and it could be the same mistake over and over and over, but if you learn something from it, it's not really a mistake. It's just you're learning. Everyone learns differently, and you may repeat the same mistake 5 or 6 times before you learn everything you need to learn about that mistake.
Hmm.
So we brought in Mr. King over here. How you doing, buddy?
Off and on, going through shit almost every day.
Okay. So let's
Uh,
talk.
Atlas knows a little bit about some of it, but not a whole lot.
Okay. What go ahead, man. What would you like to share?
So majority of the shit that goes on with me is I get yelled at a lot by my family about blamed for stuff, shit like that, for
Okay.
stuff I don't know anything about or know nothing about at all, and then um I will get blamed for stuff that I can't think of any reason why I would get blamed for.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to get a job so I can move out, but every time I get a job, my family just shits on the fact that I even try to do anything with my life. So it's kind of just an endless loop.
Comes into a vicious cycle of there's nothing really being able to be done.
Yeah.
Are you, if you don't mind me asking, are you like fresh out of high school? Are we kind of mid-age with in your 20s?
I am 18.
Okay. So you're like fresh out of school or we're in the process of ending school kind of area. Is that correct?
I'm already out of school. I dropped out.
Okay. I mean, nothing wrong with that. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I can definitely understand where you're coming from on trying to definitely get a job to be able to try and survive on your own.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to try and survive on your own, but be able to have that personal freedom. To be able to finally learn who you are as an individual. What do you like? What do you not like? Is there anywhere in particular you want to start settling your own roots?
The most of the answers to that question for me anyway, for my opinion, come with time.
Okay.
But the last question, which was like an area or somewhere where I'd like to settle my roots, that one is a difficult one for me because I have a lot of different things that I could say
Mm-hmm.
at this point in time, but then could change later on.
Oh yeah, and that's normal. Like,
100%.
I'm not, I'm not saying you decide right then and there. You're 18-year-old.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Nebraska in the middle of nowhere, and that's where. No, when you're at the proper age to start wanting to adventure, you don't really have. It's okay to not have these answers just yet. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff is being worked out. All right. I remember when I turned 18 and I had just graduated high school, and you start finally realizing the current needs to become an adult. You kind of have a culture shock kind of deal because there's so much. But I can definitely understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You also realize that the real world that you're going into may not be exactly what you expected.
Yes.
It will never be.
Yes.
There's some parts of it that you could somewhat compare to what you expected, but you can't have it in your head that all of it will be exactly how you want it to be.
Yes.
100%.
You were raised off of Disney movies that Prince Charming will come in and save the day, or we're raised that the princess is just in the castle and we just gotta be the white knights and save the day. At the end of the day, the world is not that colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Bitter
mean,
and cold.
you're also kind of raised in a way that's like everybody's gonna be kind, everybody's gonna be good, and it will be okay. And the fact in reality is that not everybody is going to be kind, not everybody is going to be nice, and it's it's a whole thing in the culture shock because you're in a whole different environment as a whole where
Yeah.
you have to constantly be on your P's and Q's about people's intentions.
Yes. You have to
That's where the
be.
whole saying.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tater.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's where that saying comes in. You keep your circle small, so that way you start to build the trust, because you cannot trust anyone. Like, you cannot trust anyone from day one. You always are hesitant about the person, and as your time goes on, and that smaller circle becomes closer and closer, the more you can trust them. And even then, you still can't trust half of them, because a lot of them have their own intentions about what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
And with the whole home situation, like, none of us are complete experts on this. Just want to throw that out there. Take it with a grain of salt. Let them yell at you. Let them do it. You know you're trying to do your best. You know you're trying to do what's best for you. Sometimes you just let them yell at you. Take it with a grain of salt. And when you do get that job, keep it. Work your butt off, but make sure you don't get burnt out on it. And then when you get the money, you get the place you want, or you find a place you want, you move out, they're going to realize, like, hey, we did all this to him and he still made it through. You just don't take it to heart. Just let it fall off of you. Let them yell at you. Let them say what your mistakes are that you're making. But work through it, push through it, because at the end of the tunnel, there's always going to be a bright light.
I love the comment from Lego. She says, you can get burnout with family. Oh yeah,
Yes, you.
Definitely. Hell
100%.
yeah.
I've been burnt out from my family for at least 3 years now. It's a whole shitty environment. First, it was a
I
shitty environment I grew up in. Now it's just a shitty environment that followed.
Hmm.
I was the oldest of 8 siblings, man. I You definitely can get freaking tired of all of them.
Yep.
Whether it's as simple as just annoying little things to being the one that ends up getting blamed from everything as the oldest. Period. It all sucks.
Well, I'm the
And
oldest of two, but still.
Okay.
but
So
that's the thing
so you're also, not only are you learning everything about life and coming into the age of adulthood, but you also got that big brother syndrome,
Yeah.
which, once again, nothing wrong with that. There's I say there's a couple of different syndromes between, depending on where you fall in the childhood. The middle child syndrome, we just get forgotten. The littlest, the youngest one, youngest syndrome is you get to get away with anything. And then
The baby.
the baby. And then the big brother syndrome is you get blamed for everything. Let's see. Rose says, I'm always the go-to person who is expected to drop whatever I have going on to do what everyone else needs or wants. Yeah. Are you youngest, middle, or oldest child when it comes to that spectrum?
I mean, I have the same thing going on, so.
Yeah. See, oldest. Told you right then and there. Let's see. Lego says, I don't even talk to my father anymore. Haven't had a relationship with him in 10 years. I got burnout, being blamed and shamed on, being treated like I was nothing. I was the baby too. Okay. Yeah.
I got
Sometimes
something
it's
on
not
that
all.
one. I got something on that one,
Go
actually,
ahead.
because I can relate that a lot.
Go ahead.
My biological mother, I made a conscious decision that I was tired of things. I was tired of the revolving door, the toxicity. I was tired of all of it. So at some point in time, I said, you know what? I'm a lot happier and a lot less stressed when I limit my contact with this person to bare minimum, if at all. So I tend to screen the calls, I tend to ignore the text, but I let them know I'm alive, and that's about as much as I talk to them. And sometimes, for your own mental health, you have to do that. You have to unfortunately recognize that the person that is doing all that is not really good for you. I
Mm,
know I have an aunt who also does something of the similarities where she got to a point in her life where she had peace in her life with her family, her inner family, like her and her wife and their kids. She decided that she did not want to be affiliated or interact with certain family members that continuously caused a lot of problems drama wise and just stressed her out all the time. So she decided to cut off contact because she was at a place where she was happy and peaceful and she was willing to protect that. So it gets to a point where you're happy and you're peaceful. Do what's right for you.
mm.
Protect that happy and peaceness. It's hard to
Um,
get.
no, I got you. 100%. Yeah. Um, I want to take a moment and talk about my own experience with burnout. As someone who streams and tries to create a safe space for mental health conversations, promise you, I've definitely felt the weight of constantly being on. There are times when I just don't want to get online. I don't want to game, but I felt like I had to. And it's tough when when something you love starts to feel like a chore. You know, not saying that this podcast is like a chore, but it's I work tirelessly to be able to provide and still learn how to make this show better and better and better as we go along in the coming weeks. And the pressure is there. The pressure is there. Is this podcast going to go anywhere? Are people actually going to be tuning in? Am I actually being relative? Am I being interesting? You start asking the 20 questions. You start going through a checklist. And what keeps me going is I love the responses that are starting to come in. Just because at the very beginning, not many people were watching. And then here we are on episode 5, and we've got somewhat of a following starting. And I love hearing all the stories that I get from the back burner, behind the scenes. I've got people that are opening up to me. I got people that are wanting to have those conversations with me. And it only reinforces the reason why I do this podcast. It only influences me more to keep going when I have these moments of setback where I feel like I'm not doing anything.
It uses the motivation to keep you pushing forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is your fuel that Aaron was talking about earlier, being able to push through those obstacles. While yes, right now it sucks, keep pushing forward through those obstacles by reinforcing yourself on looking at the good. I'm not saying the entire world is not colorful. There are colorful parts to this world. You just have to put in the effort and the gumption to go look for it.
Basically, give yourself positive reinforcement.
Yes.
And find people who give that to you too.
Yes.
You don't have to do it just yourself. Find a group of
Yes.
friends that motivate you to do your best,
Yes.
I
and
surround
you'll
myself.
start to see the colorful parts of the world. It's
Yep.
not all black and white or gray or colorless. Like, you find your group of friends that, like, hey, you pitch them that idea, like Tater did with this whole podcast. He came months ago and says, hey, I want to do this podcast. I sat down and I listened to what his motivation was behind it and what is causing him to do this. And I told him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And look where he's at now. He had 10 people in here. He has multiple guests. He's found the motivation to keep moving forward through friends, and I'm hoping close family who he calls family that may not be blood. And he found his motivations to keep pushing forward.
We talked about kicking people out of your circle that don't contribute or cause problems. Now, you can do that in the opposite way. Start surrounding yourself with people that build you up, that motivate you, and inspire you to be a better version of yourself. That's just as important as removing the toxicity in your life.
100%. So, moving into the next phase here. So, now that we've talked about what burnout looks like, what it feels like, on what causes it, let's focus on something even more important: how to avoid it. Trust me, this is something we can all learn to manage for the better. For setting boundaries to taking breaks. There are ways to recharge before we hit that burnout wall. Tell me, what are some current exercises that you have found that has brought positivity and not negativity to being able to recharge? I will go ahead and have Atlas answer this question.
Honestly, I tend, like I said earlier, to take things out of the bowl and focus on less items as a whole. So when I finally hit the burnout spot, I like pulling in a few good friends and just having a tight knit circle and just focus on that because usually they're the ones that know how to get me back to feeling motivated again. They know what kind of they're often in tune with what may or may not have caused that burnout or even what's mentally weighing me down. Because the good friends that I have are the ones I tend to vent to. So they're the ones that would know about those things that are stressing me out. Um, that's usually my go-to. And if it ain't that, it's just unplugging. Sometimes you just have to unplug and not be online, not be doing a bunch of social media or even Discord. Sometimes you have to just lay down and have a day with your partner or just to yourself. Slow it down.
Okay. What about you, Aaron?
Kind of like what Rose said. Just take small trips, switch up the routines. Like if you're working like real long hours every day for like weeks straight, like someone I know who's doing that, a man needs to take a vacation. He needs to get away from it. He needs to, but his motivation behind it is justification of enough for him to keep going. Like,
Okay.
but like even like your small like for like a week, like you're feeling burnt out during the week, take a little trip somewhere. You got little extra money for a hotel room, go to another city for a night. Go do something different than what you're used to. Just
Yeah.
switch up your routines.
Yeah. Something that I like to do every now and then. So yeah, something I like to do every now and then is I'm about 2 hours away, or no, I'm 6 hours. So I'm 4 hours away from Nashville. What I like to do is I just like to take a weekend trip to Nashville. Nashville is a big city. Ain't nobody know me. I can go hide somewhere if I need to, and and I can just I could show myself some self-love. Go get a hotel room for an evening at a nice place, have a nice dinner, go to a spa. Look, I may be a guy, but I don't fear spa days, okay? Do my hair. So King, what about you, man? For the moment, how do you recharge? How do you prevent burnout when you feel like it's creeping in on you?
For the most part, I will just whatever's burning me out or whatever's like getting me into a situation where I need to distance myself from it. I will just basically go to my room and just sit there for about 6, 7 hours by myself and vent to people.
Okay.
It's a
I
good
don't really
Nice.
one.
have very many options because I don't have my learner's permit or license, so I can't really go anywhere.
Okay. No, but see, over the course of time, you could consider that a goal. Is
Yeah.
once you accomplish to get your license and whatnot, go to the park. Just
Get
breathe.
out of the house.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, there's many. I understand for coming from your point of view, it doesn't seem like there are a lot of options. Coming back to when we said overcoming the obstacles and finding that sense of accomplishment, once you were able to have that time to be able to eventually get away from the house and take a breather and start really focusing on you, that's when you can really start trying to find the beauty in the small things.
Yeah.
Being a teenager is, dude, it's fucking hard.
Oh, let me turn on my camera real quick. I'm actually kind of getting bored.
No, I got you.
Here.
Yeah.
Sorry if the glare is.
Oh no, you're fine. You're
Tater
just
has
fine.
glare. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, he does.
Anti-glare glass, No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the glasses.
So like I said, being a teenager can be very difficult. It's not everybody has to go through it, and it's something that we all don't want to go through. You start dealing with the pressures of, are you perfect? Are you good enough?
Yeah.
Do you have the best clothes? Do you high school, Rose said it earlier, the high school life, it's very cliquey, but when you start coming to an adult, for right now, I feel like you're still kind of thinking in that mindset. But once you become an adult and right, it's not 100% in there.
But it's not fully in there, but it's about 50-50 at this point.
Right. Promise you, this is only a phase. Eventually, when you start getting into your 20s, you're going to realize really, really quick, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Nope.
It don't
For
matter
the
what
most part, I
brand
never really
you have
cared
on.
what people thought about what I looked like and shit for the most part.
Okay.
The parts I did care about was just like glasses wise. That's basically all I cared about.
Yeah. See, okay, so these are anti-prescription glasses. The reason I wear these is because over the course of time where I've worked in the computer background, I'm always staring at screens. And so these are anti-blue, the Blu-ray that comes from the screen. That's what these do, is it prevents that from causing my eyes to strain, because as I'm getting old age, it starts to make my eyes hurt. It starts to cause a strain, and you got to do these small little remedies to, and I get it. My older brother, he needs glasses to save his life. That man can't see worth a shit. But yet he doesn't want to wear the glasses because he feels like it makes him funny. Nobody cares.
No.
I promise you, nobody cares.
To go back from one of the previous podcasts, if you look at the 1%ers in this country, it's like Adam Sandler. He goes outside in a baggy shirt and baggy shorts. He doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. He doesn't wear designer clothes. Neither does his kids. His kids don't wear nothing designer. He has a nice car and he drives it around. But he doesn't, and like what Rose says, Reeves takes the subway.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right?
Adam Sandler is the Hollywood version of going to Walmart with cookie dough pajamas. Cookie Monster pajamas.
It's the art of not giving a fuck about everybody else and what they're doing around you, and just doing your thing and living it, The sooner that you stop caring about items that ultimately don't affect you, and the less you allow those kind of voices and comments to bother you, the happier you get. There are some things that I do let bother me, but they do affect me on a bigger scale. So for example, I let it bother me if I know I'm not doing as well as I should be at work, because that work affects my independence and freedom. But I don't give a shit about somebody that says something about what kind of body type I have and whatnot. Like, I take care of my girl and I do just fine at that. So fuck them. Their opinion don't matter.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good. That's a good point to put
I
out.
think last week Tater brought up about a book, the art of not giving a shit.
Yes.
He brought that up because his mom went in and her therapist said to start reading it. It might be beneficial for like not like find a free copy of it and just read some of it
There's a
because
free
it
copy.
will give you points of like, hey, like these people are saying this about me. I don't give a shit. I've had people call me lazy, dumb, and I look at them and say, okay, whatever, and walk away. Because the more you don't give a fuck about shit, the happier and better off you're gonna be.
Yeah.
You can let the insults just roll off of you because they're putting you down to build their self confidence up. If you don't let it affect them or you just ignore it, you're taking away all the power from them, and you're gonna start realizing like, hey, what they're saying to me doesn't bother me anymore. Okay, cool. And you start to get happier the less you start caring about what people say to you negatively wise. If they're starting to say
Focus on
positive
you.
things about you, suck in the positivity, wash away the negativity.
Yep. And it takes a while to kind of refine what to give a fuck about and what not to give a fuck about. Um, it all plays a role into your own personal happiness. It does.
No, I really appreciate you guys chiming in on this on these key points. Um, burnout is something we all face, whether it, like I said, whether it's gaming, work, parents, siblings, grandparents, it, or just life in general. But the key thing is recognizing when it's happening and taking action before it gets too overwhelming. I want to thank you, King, for actually dropping in and definitely sharing your thoughts. I appreciate you, and you are more than welcome to definitely talk with us. Each episode, I definitely take some time to hear everybody, even listeners. And that's kind of what I'm getting into at the moment. Does anybody, for my people that are watching, I'm going to go ahead and enter the kind of our end of the podcast, where we go ahead and take a moment to answer anybody's questions that they may have pondered or they want kind of an opinion. So I'm gonna allow some time for that. Does anybody have anything they want to ask? Anything and everything. It doesn't have to stick to the topic of like burnout, but like something in the essence of mental health. So while I'm seeing if anybody wants to ask anything, so King, what games you into?
I play a variety of games, but right now it's Ark, COD, and Rocket League for the most part.
Okay, tell me about Ark. I haven't really played Ark.
Dino survival game where you can tame dinosaurs. You can build bases. If you're playing PvP, people can raid the bases. And if you're not playing PvP, which is PvE, I think you can guess what that would mean. There's no raiding. There's no nothing. You can still tame. There's different types of servers. I'm mainly admin on a server right now on it. I don't really play the game. I admin on a server for someone
Okay.
that I know.
Cool.
And yeah. It's kind of well, there is modded. Yeah, as Rose said, there is modded, but that's for the Steam and that's for Ark Survival Ascended. I play a Ark Survival Evolved for the most part. I own both, but still.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say that I've been a admin for Arc, and that definitely can burn you out.
Oh, it
Constantly
can
being the
100%.
person, yeah, being a person that everybody always comes to, like they have a problem or they got their dino stuck or they lost all their stuff, and like
Yeah.
it gets to a point where you're tired of the game because you can't even actually play the game yourself. Somebody else is always calling you to rescue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For the most part, though, the server that I admin on, there's like certain things that admins can do over a certain period of time. And there's also certain maps that certain admins can go on so that it doesn't actually like effectively burn you out as fast as some other things.
All right. Well, I definitely, once again, King, I want to appreciate you for chiming in. Lego does have a question. Lego asked, "Do you think childhood trauma can cause more burnouts as an adult?" Yes.
Yes.
100%.
I
To
would actually love to expand on that if you don't mind.
yeah. Go ahead.
In short, the the things that affect us in the past can and do affect us in the future. You get out of a really toxic relationship with somebody, more often than not, it takes a long time to reprogram everything you just dealt with for the last X amount of time. And you have to be extremely self aware of what it is for what it is when interacting with your new partners or others around you. Because you don't want what was toxic there to come spill over and affect the new, potentially healthy relationship. And that can burn you out. That can be exhausting and tiresome. It it's difficult to not allow previous relationships to affect healthy new ones. That is all I got on that one.
Okay. Aaron, do you want to answer that, or
Um,
didn't know if you wanted to add anything before I added my tater sense?
no, go ahead. Add the tater sense.
So yes, I know for a fact childhood trauma can cause more burnouts as an adult because I don't normally talk about my a lot about my history on the podcast because a lot of my past I feel is not unfortunately it's not something able to be spoken about on live channels unless it's like heavily I haven't developed a safe way to really talk about it in a safe space. And a lot of things that I have gone through have definitely affected the way that I process things. One of the things, let's see. Yes, absolutely. It can cause you to shut down faster. I wish I could dive more into that. However, that will have to be stated a little bit at a later episode. Reason I say that, and what's funny is because that is the that's going to be the next topic of our of next week's episode. Next time on Tater Talks, we're going to be diving. We're going to dive into forgiving ourselves, healing from an abusive past we cannot resolve. This is going to be a deep and powerful episode, so I encourage everyone to actually tune in, come watch, and join in the conversation. We'll be talking about self-forgiveness, the weight of guilt and shame, and how to move forward when closure seems impossible. We're going to definitely be talking about bringing up some traumatic issues of my past. We're going to talk about how I was able to accomplish the goals that I went through and how I was able to recover. So, Aaron, do your homework.
I'm actually going to send a video to King that my high school football coach shared with me.
Okay.
It's by Jocko Willink.
Do you got the YouTube link?
I can send it to you.
Is
I
it
just
hang on, is it also like maybe 3-5 minutes somewhere in there?
the one I found is like 2 minutes, a minute.
Okay.
It pretty much says if you're going through something or something happens,
don't describe it or
It just-
anything. Just
it just sent
send me
it to you.
Yeah, send me the link and I'm
did.
gonna put it up here.
219 because I had to send it to Rose first, then forward it to King.
Y'all give me just a moment here so I can modify this.
I kind of like this crowd if you think about it. We got the young, we got the old, we got the middle.
Yeah,
We're all in different phases of our life,
and we see the
Connect on
world through
different
different
ways.
eyes.
Yes.
Give me just a minute here. I'm modifying some stuff.
Sorry if I'm a bit quiet. I'm just thinking about what's been
There
said
is
so
nothing
far.
wrong. There's nothing
Nothing at
wrong
all.
with it.
Self-reflection and self-awareness are a huge part of growth. And
Mhm.
I can honestly say I would not have grown as much as I did if it wasn't for amazing and key individuals in my life who made me think differently.
Did you not get the link?
No, I
I
did. I just haven't watched it yet. Or we're not talking to
I
me.
sent it to Tater.
no, I've
Oh.
got I've got it up.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna be quiet while I let this play.
Direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was
Now, I'm
going
excited
on,
for next week's
and he'd say,
episode.
"Boss, we got this and that and the other
I
thing."
think a lot of
And I
people
look at him
do
and I'd
well
say,
with that one.
"Good."
It's a big step in
And finally,
self-growth as a whole.
Hold that comment because I want to be sure all the listeners can hear this as well.
All right.
one of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on, and he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, "I already know what you're gonna say." And I said, "Well, what am I gonna say?" He said, "You're gonna say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, "Well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, or now, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re engage, and go out on the attack.
Like,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I used to listen to that when I needed a reminder of certain stuff. Like, life was getting hard. I would go back and listen to it because out of everything bad, there's always going to be something good. Like, King, you're going through a bad time with your family and all that. It's good because there will be something you learn and change for the future. Just because it seems bad now, you're going to learn something from it. You're going to be knowing how to treat everybody else that you meet forward better. You're always going to be learning something from bad opportunities or bad scenarios. And you're always going to have time to figure out a solution to fix them. Just because the world seems dark now, it's not always going to stay dark. You're going
Yeah.
to It's going to get better. You're going to get a job. You will start making the money. You start looking for a place to be on your own. You got to look at everything and do little steps in order to achieve complete goals. Like, your goal is to move out.
That is definitely the goal, yeah.
So now it would be the time to figure out what steps need to be taken to achieve that goal. And if something comes up in between you achieving that goal, good. Find a way to get through it. Don't get frustrated about it. Just find solutions to that because it will be a lot easier for you in the long run if you learn how to overcome obstacles in your path and achieve your goals. So, like, you get a job, okay, you start saving up money, you get a car, or you get your license, you get a car, you get a savings account, you start putting money in, your car breaks down. It's good that it broke down in a sense because now you got the opportunity to figure out how to overcome this obstacle and keep pushing forward.
Hmm.
Because where you're at right now isn't going to be permanent. It will change. That's the hardest thing is to accept the change that's coming. Just because it's bad now, give it 3, 4, 5, 6, a year, 2 years, and your life will be completely different.
Mm.
As long as you're open to change.
Yeah.
I I feel like it would make sense to say it like this. So at the end of high school, everybody, well, almost everybody, I'm not gonna say everybody, almost everybody gets hit with the world. And it absolutely knocks you on your ass. Like, you start getting hit with bills, your parents start getting harder on you because they want you to start picking up on those things. And some people have better prepare better preparation for that than others. Um, but here's a really important thing about all of that is getting back up. Um, as Finn said, it's a temporary thing. It's a short period of an entire life. Um, and some people some people unfortunately make the wrong decision to check out, and that's such a permanent solution to a temporary situation, and that is absolutely not it. Uh, I've said before to others who struggle specifically that at your particular time frame, coming out of high school, getting hit with the world, that it doesn't necessarily get easier per se, but it gets better. Because work doesn't really get easier. Um, Not unless you get a nice cushy desk job. Yeah, whatever. but uh, but it gets better. You get your own life. You get to you have more opportunities as you go farther down to make your life better too. You get to a point where maybe you get a house, you get married, you have kids. God, is that a blessing? I'll tell you what, I bet you Finn would tell you right now, one of the biggest things keeping him going is the wonderful blessing of having the kid.
2 of them.
Uh, yep. And I've met so many people, even my own father, who said that there came a time where he thought about making that permanent solution, that he decided no, because he had a kid. He had several kids, and that was what kept him going. You know, they certainly bring joy to your life. Um, so like I said, it don't get easier; it gets better. And the question is, what opportunities do you want? What do you want in life? Create those opportunities. Go find those opportunities. Chase those opportunities. Because that will take what's a temporary situation and make it better.
So basically, find something that makes you want to move forward in life and push towards that.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Don't just push towards that. Chase it. Mm, Well, balance it, because you don't want to get
No,
burned out.
no, yeah, screw it. Chase it. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
You
yeah,
want
chase it.
you want to
Chase it.
chase it.
Chase it. All right, yeah.
Now,
I was trying to make a pun on that one, but it didn't work out.
no, you're fine. But no, yes, take a look at the good things of life and try to find something that is a personal aspect of yourself. What is truly going to define you? Those are that what makes you are now you being 18 are now in a area where you are now deciding who are you going to be. It doesn't matter what Jim, Tim, Tom, Bill, Skyla, whoever becomes. It matters on you and you alone.
Yep.
Nobody
Okay, I
else
got a question.
cares. So, do I?
Who has seen Rocky, the 2006 Rocky Balboa movie?
I
Hell
have.
yeah, I grew up on those.
You remember the speech that he gave his son?
I
Yes,
do
that's one of
not
my
remember the
favorite
speech.
speeches.
Okay, I found it. And you listen to the words. It says, "The world ain't always sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, and nobody is gonna make it is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you get or hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know your worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you always got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers and saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her, anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Yup.
Life's going to knock you to your knees and keep you there if you let it. It will beat the brakes off of you. And it will keep doing it until you stand up and you fight back. Yeah, it sucks. You're going to take a lot of blows. You're going to get hit a lot with random challenges. the ability to get back up and keep moving forward is what is going to show how successful someone can be. The more you take hits now and the more you push through them, easier a lot of stuff's going to be. Yeah, it's hard right now and you're feeling burnt out because of it. But once it's over and you're recharged and you're ready to go, there ain't going to be nothing that's hit hard as life. You lose your job, okay. You find another one. Life is your biggest obstacle.
I
You got
think
to figure out how to live with it and keep moving forward.
All right, y'all. I want to thank you so much for Aaron and Atlas and King coming in today. I appreciate definitely everybody that has come in today and really talked. I want to give a massive shout out that we have now crossed the 200 follower threshold on Twitch. I am deeply inside. I'm really giddy because there's no way that I wouldn't be able to accomplish this without you guys and everybody else that watches us. I want to thank everybody that's watching us now. Bigger things are to come, and I can't wait to see what more we can accomplish going down the road. Next week, like I said, we've already gone to kind of recap again on next week's episode. Forgiving ourselves, healing from abusive past we cannot resolve. So that is on the schedule for next week. I would love to see everybody back in here. We're going to go live at aiming to be 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is 6 o'clock Central. And I can't wait to see all you guys. Do we have any closing statements they want to get out before I go ahead and shut it down for the evening?
No, not really. Hope to see y'all again.
Okay.
Y'all are freaking awesome.
I love
Yeah.
every single one of y'all that have come out here and expressed your feelings. Your feelings are valid and they are deserving to be heard. Late in the evening, like 2 a.m., of course, I'm going to be streaming Phasmophobia. So if you're looking for those fun shenanigans and you're up at the end of the night, feel free to come watch and we'll have some fun. Other than that, as always, your wonderful host, Tater Toticus, and thank you again for watching the Tater Talks podcast. Have a wonderful and beautiful night.
Stop me from hitting the ground, and every goal there was a meaning. For this love ain't kryptonite. And if you keep me close, a minute in this hourglass you hold. And when I fall too deep, you be there and I'll wait to save me. A superhero in your sleep. A superhero in your Something about it felt like